Hello book nerds, welcome to Bookshelf Bunny. I'm Kim and today we'll do a short review of The Witching Hour by Anne Rice. Hey guys, so I read this mostly on my trip to California. I started it beforehand, got about halfway through, and then finished it up while on the plane and waiting in line for rides and any little opportunity I could snatch to read on my vacation. This book was phenomenal. So first of all, it was a 5 out of 5 read for me. The characters are amazing, the world is gorgeous and immersive, and the story blew me away. I think my only major complaint about this book is it did a lot of info dumping and flashbacks in the form of a history for the Mayfair witches, and that was a lot to slog through, but it was also fascinating and interesting and it held my attention. So it's only a very minor complaint, all things considered. That particular writing technique wouldn't fly, I'm sure, in today's world. Info dumping and flashbacks is kind of frowned upon now, and I'll never truly understand why, because I think it's a legitimate literary technique for storytelling. But that was my only issue. Generally speaking, I have no problem with flashbacks in books, but it was chunky, it was long, it was a significant portion of the story. So the basic synopsis of this book is there's a group of women who date back to the 1600s in Scotland, and they made a deal with some sort of mysterious spirit. So they have pre-existing psychic abilities, which kind of labels them as witches. But when they made this deal with this spirit, it really solidified the image of witches throughout history. And so this group of women, we follow them as they go through the generations, and we get to hear or see family ties and family lineages, and there's a crap ton of inbreeding. It's a thing. But it's very strategic. You get the impression as you're reading this that it's not just inbreeding, it's breeding. They are working towards something by choosing selective family members, people who are powerful and strong, to breed with others, to create progeny who is even stronger. So that was fascinating. The spirit is Lasher, and it's undecided at this point if he is a ghost, a devil, a demon, what he is, but he definitely has aims of his own, and he is manipulating this family through the guise of being their servant, but clearly he has his own plans. The core story follows Rowan Mayfair, who is the current recipient of the family curse gift. You have to read it and decide. And with that comes a significant amount of wealth that has been accumulated through the ages. She is like the heir to this massive family fortune, but also she's the heir to this spirit and these powers and this twisted history. So we follow her, and we follow Michael, who has had visions from spirits, and now he has this idea in his head that he needs to go back to his home in New Orleans and fulfill a mission. And he and Rowan meet inevitably, and now not only are they learning about the Mayfair family history, they are now in the history and part of the history. There's a lot of spice in this book and a lot of inappropriate things in this book. But all in all, it was an amazing story. It weaves together very, very well if you have the patience for the ginormous flashback in the form of a history file, which I did, so I have no complaints really. 5 out of 5, great read. I picked this up because in my TBR for March, I had chosen Lasher without realizing Lasher is literally smack dab in the middle of a trilogy. So I had to read this before I could read that, and I'm so glad I did. Amazing story. I'm reading Lasher right now. I'm hoping to finish that soon. Hooray, it's great. And that's really all I've got. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Has anyone else read this trilogy? And has anyone got thoughts on this story and the massive info dump flashback thing that it does? How did you feel about it? Okay, that's all I got for you. As always, happy reading.